Can you imagine being accused of committing an offense and having to wait 5 years in jail before your matter is heard by a court of law? Can you imagine your child being stripped naked and beaten on camera only for the perpetrator to be acquitted? Imagine being sentenced to 8 years in prison at the age of 17 for a finable offense. These stories are the realities of Malawians who are unable to access legal representation when they go through the justice system. Poor people usually find themselves on the wrong side of the law, not because they have bad cases, not because they committed offenses, not because their rights must not be vindicated, but simply because they were unable to access legal representation. In Malawi, like in many other countries, legal representation is quite expensive. Obtaining the services of a lawyer can be very exorbitant. So a large portion of the population cannot afford, as 70% of the population live below the poverty line. This means that for poor people, going through the justice system justly is almost an impossibility. To help with this situation, of course, there exists the Legal Aid Bureau, which is a government department set up to offer legal services to people of insufficient means. But the Legal Aid Bureau only has about 45 lawyers as its staff, and this is no match to the population of about 20 million in Malawi, 70% of whom are poor and require such services. This is where the Justice Project, which I am working on, comes in. The Justice Project appreciates the grave need for legal representation for the poor in Malawi. In this project, I note that the Legal Aid Bureau gets really overwhelmed with the number of cases, leading either to some people not being represented or compromising the quality of legal services given to people of insufficient means. The project aims at setting up a bar advocate program which contracts about 50 lawyers to help augment the work of the Legal Aid Bureau in providing legal services to people of insufficient means. Under the project, cooperation will be made with the Legal Aid Bureau as well as the judiciary to ensure that whenever a person goes through the justice system and they require representation but they are of insufficient means, the Legal Aid Bureau must not be the only recourse that they have. They must be able to turn to the Justice Project, which will have in its employment and under its contract various lawyers who are in private practice but are well compensated under the Justice Project, so that people who are going through the justice system but are unable to afford legal representation are not just left to luck, but rather they must be able to be represented. Having legal representation can actually make all the difference in the destiny of a person as far as justice is concerned. The Justice Project aims at making the right to legal representation not just a luxury for people of sufficient means, but a reality even for those who are impecunious. Martin Luther King once said that if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. I choose not to be neutral. I choose not to watch poor people languish in jails or have their rights not vindicated. I choose to contribute to access to legal representation for poor people in my country. And I hope that you will join me in making this dream a reality. Thank you.